For this week's Wednesday Wisdom and Leadership question, I want to talk to you about the law of magnetism. Because I can almost guarantee that at some point in time in your life, someone very close to you, someone who cared about you, someone you may have loved, admired, or respected, they pulled you aside, got your attention, and warned you about the shysters. They probably warned you to be careful of the people you trust and associated with. They may have even told you to be on the lookout for those shysters who are always trying to influence us in negative ways. For me, the person who would always warn me about those shysters was my grandmother. And people called my grandmother Miss Eunice. And Miss Eunice would sit out on the porch in the shade, and she'd watch folks go up and down the street, backwards and forward along the way. And she could tell you everything you needed to know about a person, simply by watching how they waved, how they smiled, and by how many times they said hello as they walked by. And she was good. Oh, she was good. And she would always say, be careful of who you hang out with, who you trust, and who you follow. And she was so right. So right. I remember one of the first people I trusted and allowed to influence me. They taught me how to steal. And so for a very short period of time, I became a thief. Now, we were only about 7, so we weren't knocking over liquor stores or mugging people in the streets. But Miss Eunice was right. My grandmother was so right. You have to be careful of the people you associate with, because the people you and I, the people we associate with, can influence how successful we become or will become. Now, needless to say, at the time, at the age of 7, I just wasn't a great listener. But who's a great listener at 7? I don't know. And nobody, right? But luckily, a 4-inch strip of leather, about yay long, with an angry dad attached, was enough to convince me that, well, let's just say that it was a life-changing moment. If you have ever heard that old Bible verse about sparing the rod, well, my father had no problem not sparing the rod. And it changed my life for the better. Now, often I share that story with CEOs, executives, and school-age kids, but just a little bit differently. And people often ask me if there's anything. They say, Ernie, is there anything else you wish your grandmother would have told you? And I say, yeah, of course. I wish she would have told me about the law of magnetism, which says who you are is who you attract. You see, when we're growing up, starting a new business or looking for lasting relationships, good relationships, real relationships with good folks, good partners, often we're taught to be more cautious and careful about who we associate with and who we trust, rather than being taught to become the type of person. I've said it right, to become the type of person we would willingly trust and associate with. Now, here's what I've discovered, and this is amazing. I've discovered that if you become the type of person that you would willingly trust and associate with first, do that first. The type of people you can trust and willingly associate with and be happy with having in your life will be naturally drawn to you, because like attracts like. It's all about magnetism, friends, and we all love connecting with, supporting, and associating with people, teams, and organizations who are like us and who share our core values. Am I correct? Hey, of course, think about it. So, what are you doing to become that type of person? Better yet, what are the core values and qualities, the characteristics of the type of person that you would willingly trust? For me, it's honesty, integrity, reliability, selflessness, and conscious living. And those are just a few of the things on my list. But I'd like to hear your list. If you don't have one, make one now. Write out a list of the characteristics, the qualities of the type of people that you would willingly trust and associate with. And share it. Share it with as many people as humanly possible. And you can even start by posting it in the comment section below. And then, make sure you invest in becoming that person, because I want to see you win. Until next time, friends,